Hey everybody, welcome to the Grinillionaire Gang podcast. Why is it the Grinillionaire Gang? Because we give you a million grins. It's the Grinillionaires.
Love it.
That's good.
With me today I have my good buddies. I'll name them off and they can introduce themselves as they go. Mind Cannon.
Yo.
Shinzo Benson.
Hello.
Clains P. Esquire.
Nice,
Third.
hi.
Nice. And I am Chongo. I'm an internet artist to do things. This is my channel. Chongo Does Things Sometimes, and this is our podcast, the Grinillionaire Gang. It used to be the Grinillionaire Boys back on my old podcast, but I figured gang was better because I have a lot of people who are friends who aren't boys, and it excludes them.
There's certainly a rise in humor of the word boys, I think. I feel like the word boys has kind of taken off.
Yeah.
No, boys is
Humor.
memeing right now.
Gang is also, it's good alliteration.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
like
But
it.
squad is another good one.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
that's good too. Maybe if, yeah.
Grinillionaire Gang
But
is
no,
like
you made
for
the
us.
right choice, I think, because you totally need my approval for some reason. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, this is the new podcast. This is the new gang. We're all here for our preliminary podcast on Chongo Does Things Sometimes, and the subject I will bring up tonight is Five Nights at Freddys. Sister Location just came out. I'm doing my Let's Play of it. Markiplier just finished his. Yeah. Well, I think he did his first playthrough. He's starting to figure out the secrets now, so that's what's going on.
Did he get an early copy?
I
think
don't
he did.
remember.
Yes.
Alright, I'll stop
Pretty
thinking.
sure it was like, yo.
He's already finished with it. He's already got, well, I don't know if 3 stars is all the ones that you can get for it, but he's pretty much done all you can do with it, so.
Yeah.
And I know he did like a 2-hour-long stream talking about it. I didn't watch that one because I don't have the attention span to listen to it for that long. But
I don't
you know.
I don't really find Markiplier that entertaining, but he is really good at Five Nights at Freddy's. So
Is he actually?
Understandable, but that's, you know, and I'm.
I mean,
really
like,
into that.
he was like the one of the only people who like beat the first few nights pre-patch when Scott was like, "Sorry guys, I can't believe I made that level so incredibly
Yeah,
unwinnable."
that isn't-
Oh yeah, 420 mode, I forgot. Yeah, I almost forgot that was a thing.
It's so funny.
What's
This old Christian father man, 2 children, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, like puts in the 420 mode. Beautiful. But yeah, so I'm a pretty big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think we should start out with just the idea of like, how do we get into Five Nights at Freddy's? What was our main dive into it, and how do we think about it now? So Shinzo, do you want to start us off with that one?
I guess so, yeah. Actually, I don't even remember how I got into it as much as I did. I remember it coming out, and I remember it. I think it might have been my roommates in college at the time. It may have been around the time the second game came out, is when I really, because either they got into it somehow, or there was some kind of, I can't really remember what it was. I think what it was they were going back through, because the second game had just came out, and they were going back through the first one, the Markiplier videos again, and I would just happen to be in the room at the time, and I sat down and watched it with them. And then and all of it came out with like, oh, there's actually a lot deeper like lore behind it, and there's lots of these fan theories, and like it's not all just surface level stuff. You actually have to pay attention to a lot of things, and there's like puzzles within puzzles, and like people are, you know, putting all this stuff together. And I think that's when it really took off for me, is the fact that you could speculate about stuff and you could grow more from just what is there, instead of, oh, it's just a game where a bunch of things jump out and scare you. It's actually like you have to, there's like things you have to solve, and I don't know, it's just stuff like that. I think that's what really hooked me into it. In terms of how I feel about it now, I guess, I don't know, it's about the same, I guess. it's... I don't know, it certainly took off in a direction that I didn't really expect it to take, but at the same time, I guess I feel like I kind of joined the party a little late, so I don't really know if, things have always kind of been the way that they were, but yeah, I don't know if we're gonna, I guess that's just initially, and I don't know if we're gonna go through each game individually and kind of talk about them at one
Well, I'm
by one,
hoping so. Yeah, I'm hoping we give...
And if we get to that, then I'll go from there, so that kind of a thing. Anyway.
Alright. Yeah, so, how about you, Claims? You wanna give us your thoughts on, how you started, where you went, and what you did?
Well, I mean, from what I can remember about, joining, it was like, I saw the game on the Steam Greenlight. I think, I'm not sure which one came first, but it was on the Greenlight, and then I saw a video in my recommended for, this game's super scary, and then it's like, yeah, I guess it is. This is pretty spooky. Then there's just like a fucking FNAF renaissance on fucking 4chan, and there are fucking meme shits being like rolled out like minutes within each other. Like for like an entire week, I was able to just go on like 4chan and just be like, I wonder what kind of new meme shit's getting like posted today. And there's like always new stuff. There was like JoJo references. Fucking
yeah, the whole JoJo alternate universe. I fucking loved that. It came out of left field, and I fucking...
Everyone loves JoJo.
The fucking Jotaro as Mike Schmidt looking at Foxy in Pirates of Cove, and he's like, Mike Schmidt, you're watching me, aren't you? That was my favorite.
Oh god, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a huge fucking community for it. Everybody was super impressed by the game because, like, sure, it was a jump scare game, but it seemed unique enough to really stand out amongst everything. And I guess it's proven that because I'm seeing fucking Five Nights shit at Hot Topic, so it must be doing really well.
Strange.
God, I've seen like Five Nights. Like sometimes I go to GameStop because I want to get like a physical copy, and I dislike going to GameStop, honestly.
Who doesn't?
And I just see all this Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I see like Pop Funko figures.
I thought you said taco stand-ups. Like there's official name brand like taco stands for Five Nights at Freddy's. But you say that, and I'm like, yo, that is just stupid enough for Scott to be like, yes.
Anyway, I was thinking. Oh yeah, and then there's like the knockoff like Pop Funko stuff, which is also still Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And then there's like the occasional like Five Nights at Freddy's plushies. There's like a lot of shit. But so we're talking about how we got into Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yeah.
Claims, you already went or?
Yeah, I just had my turn.
Okay, so who's next?
I guess if you're eager to go ahead, boy.
Okay, well, I mean, I've not really played any games, and it's like I found, like honestly, like I was looked at the first one, I was like, okay, that's a kind of neat idea, and then it's like, that's pretty much it. And like the only thing that I really look at is like the furry artists that make porn of the characters.
Of course, our good old that's our Vine canon. So yeah, didn't play the games. Big fan of the porn though, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
What can I say?
Well, we got an everyman's opinion here, and I like that.
Yeah.
But so how about as a whole? What do you think of the FNAF series right now? Like, I mean, from the point you got in to the point that it's at now, do you think it's changed much?
I mean, I think that this, like, sister location has gotten more hype than Five Nights at Freddy's 2 did.
Right.
From what I've seen. Because it's like, it seems like it's just, from what I understand, like, each night is a different, like, thing you have to do.
different gameplay style.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And it's like basically sort of because it's like basically there was like a few things different in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but overall it was just basically like the same, just more Five Nights at Freddy's if you wanted more Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right.
So it's like I find the idea that they actually decide to branch out and make it more different is pretty nice.
Yeah, I wish it happened a little bit sooner, but I can agree with what you're saying. Like, I really wish, like Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was when they brought in this extension of gameplay mechanics. And it didn't have to take...
Go on.
It's like I think like after I'll let you go after I just say my last like kind of comment for right now. Is that like Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and 4 were kind of like rushed over, I think.
Right.
Because it's like people started like the hype kind of pretty much started dying down, and people stopped like caring a lot, or at least like other people, because it's like if they make all those merchandise, then someone must be buying it.
Children. Millions and millions of children. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's a family-friendly series, even though it is survival horror. Hey, there's no violence, there's no blood, there's no cursing, there's no sexual themes, there's little it is surprisingly family-friendly.
A lot of things are just really left to the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Toy Chinka just has a fucking thong.
Well, as silly as it sounds, I don't think Scott intended that.
No, I totally don't think he intended that either.
I think he was trying to make it look more like a diaper or like a child. Like, I don't think he was trying to make...
Not look like a diaper at all.
Maybe not a diaper, but I don't think, like... I think it was just their color scheme, and he didn't want them to be completely nude, so he had to give them something over their torso. Over their pelvis.
True.
Like, for me, there's no way Scott went like, you know what? We need a sexy character in this game. Like, Scott, to me, seems like the kind of man who finishes the one game, and then as soon as it's released, he's like, alright, time to get on the next one.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about.
I think that's another thing that people kind of got sick of, is that it was a little bit of an oversaturation.
Oh, totally. Like, he brought them out so fast.
Yeah. So it's like, I felt like he could have done like something where it's like, I guess in sort of like, kind of like, you know how Telltale like has like a chapter of a game? And it has the next chapter? Like,
yeah, like if it was DLC instead of just straight up new games.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
But I feel like Scott's on the end of the developer cycle where he's like, no DLC, everything you get in the game is what you get at the start of the game, and you can open it without having to pay or buy for something new.
But it's like, I feel like it's not like any different from just... I feel like people would think it's less of an oversaturation that there's so many different games.
Yeah.
When in the core, most of them play basically the same. So it's like, I feel like, okay, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 chapter... Like, he could have had it like, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, chapter 1, and then it has that whole game. Then the DLC comes out. It's Five Nights at Freddy's 2 with all their chapters, then 3 with all their chapters, then 4 with all their chapters. And then he makes an actual sequel, which is Sister Location.
Right.
Yeah, actually.
So that's...
You know, as much as I like the sound of that, the only real problem I have is Scott's not going to do that. And the reason Scott put out those games and as fast as they were is because he wanted to really set that universe as fast as possible. And one of the biggest problems I think Scott ever has in his games is his sense of naivete and just not really having the foresight for some of these bigger pictures. Like, he is focused and he is ready to make his game as wonderful as possible, but he is on the testing end, on the marketing end, on the the fan interaction and release of things, like there's a sense of one man and not sort of a corporate man or a businessman. This is a father of two who wants to make a scary video game, and he wants to be wholesome and Christian at the same time.
Like this is kind of like an exact opposite of like Inafune, in the fact that this dude is not a businessman. He like is a person. And the fact
he's not
that
trying to be is the thing, and when it's thrusted upon him, you can really tell he just drops the ball.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, wasn't there that one kind of spin-off RPG that kind of wasn't really good?
Yeah, then he pulled it immediately.
Yeah, he pulled it immediately and said that he's gonna take more time to work on it. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, he was trying. Maybe it's just me thinking about it. Maybe he was just like trying like too fast to make like his own like universe.
Oh well, definitely. But you know, it was also his big seller after being like borderline like homeless. It's like, oh, I better have a hit and some money soon, or else I'm not going to be able to afford the time to be a game dev, and I'm going to have to get a real job, quote unquote.
Yeah, but it's like it's weird. Like, I'm gonna put it like a weird stance, honestly, because it's like, on one hand, I felt like he kind of made it like he was like, I'm gonna say something that's like not really nice. Like, I'm gonna say that he was kind of like shitting out these games like a little too fast.
I agree.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I think it's like, wait, well, it's like, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. Like, this is what I heard on the internet, so you know, take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
But I think like he donates like a lot of the profits to like charities and stuff. If I'm correct.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
there's a lot of charity work.
Is this so? It's like part of me like it feels like this is like a necessary evil, and I'm not calling him evil.
Oh no! I'm saying the action of him making and releasing these games and having them be so frequent and pushed out the gate so fast is a necessary evil. Not only because he has to make a living, but he does good for other people, for other services, and he's a wholesome man who wants to do good with his money and his fame, and has never used it as an opportunity to slander anybody in the business or try to boost himself to make a bigger business or spend it in a way that wasn't for him, his family, or for the greater good. And that's something really commendable from like rags to riches sort of dev like him.
Oh fuck yeah!
Because we've seen the kinds of people who have become that and become shitbags, like fucking Phil
as an
Fish.
example, like what was it? Yeah, I was just about to say choke on my dick or whatever.
Yeah, Phil Fish, boy.
He said.
Phil Fisho.
So it's like, yeah, and it's like I've heard that, and like I said before, like at the start, like around the start of this, is that Five Nights at Freddy's sister location seems like better. Like I haven't even really seen any gameplay of it. All I know is
true progression.
Yeah, it's like actual progression. Like, you know how it's like the Five Nights at Freddy's kind of felt like Pokemon-ish in the fact that each like Pokemon they advance, but not like really, like it's still Pokemon.
Yeah, it's the same like, core conceit, and it's just you wanting to see more of these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
whereas
Pokemon, so it's like, yeah, I can understand that.
Whereas Sister Location kind of feels like, how do I say this?
Well,
I wanted to put not that, it was because it's very linear. It's the illusion of non-linearness, but
yeah.
My main thing is I don't know if this is an apt comparison, but say if we're putting it to Pokemon, like the first 5 Pokemon game, or the first 5 Nights at Freddy's, or the first 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games are the Pokemon series from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance, and then Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location is sort of like the GameCube spin-offs. They have more. Like they're different games, but people don't use. But where it falls apart is like people don't take the GameCube games as Pokemon games. They're just kind of like accessories.
Well, I would say it's more like this in the fact that it's like if you... So you compare like the first Five Nights at Freddy's to like the standard like Pokemon like top-down fighting monsters, like the mainland Pokemon. And then I would like treat like Sister Location as like fucking Shin Megami Tensei. And the fact that they're both RPG, like SMT and Pokemon are both RPGs, and they both basically revolve around using monsters to fight other monsters and getting more monsters to fight monsters. But in terms of like structure and like story, they both like follow different paths.
Yeah. Oh jeez, I just realized I didn't give my own opinion on when I started in the Five Nights at Freddy's series.
Yeah, so why don't you give yourself a little start there?
Well, mine was actually pretty simple. I was just on Steam one night. I think it was early October. Like, it was just on release day of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. And I looked at the in-game art, and I'm like, wow, this looks like old Black Isle Studio artwork and, like, renders. I love that style. I have to play this game. And I opened it up, and it's like, wow, this is a fresh game. This is a fresh style. I don't know if I want to keep going with this. I don't know if it's something I want to invest so much time into. And then it got huge and huge and huge, and I was just like, okay, maybe I don't want to invest all my time in this. It seems this is going to be like the next Homestuck or the next whatever big fandom that just never ends and gets really annoying. And it did.
Yeah.
And then I started to get a lot more interested in the games again, in the core conceit of the story and everything got me really, really interested, but I was so standoffish because of people who associated like that, and were like, I'm a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, and I'm deep in the discourse about whether animatronics have rights and feelings and FNAF kin.
Good God.
So it was that. Well, that was. So I got into it on day one, release date, and I was really into it. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to step away from this because I don't think there's a lot more than what's going on the surface level, and I don't want to become that guy. And then I saw people become that guy, and I was like, oh gosh, I dodged a bullet on that one. And the games got more and more interesting looking. And I think it was actually around the fourth one coming out. I was like, you know what? I have all these games. I bought them all. I should just buckle down and play them. And it took me about a week to get through the first 3 games, and it was like, wow, I'm a really big fan of this series. I just have to keep distancing myself from all these assholes, or I'm never, ever, ever going to enjoy this game.
Yeah, don't associate with fandoms.
That's basically a case for anything.
Yeah, and now we're here because I played Sister Location, am currently playing Sister Location, and really enjoying it. So now that that quick intro is undone under the way, maybe we should start off with a general thoughts on the first game, Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Now, what I want to open with is what is everybody's opinion of it when they first saw it? Just immediate, like, can you remember the day you saw the very first Five Nights at Freddy's and your first thoughts when you saw it? Shinzo? Uh-oh. Shinzo not here anymore?
Your mic... He said it looks like he's here. I think he is speaking, but his mic is just not working or something.
Oh, jeez.
Shinzo, if you could hear us, type something in the chat.
Yeah,
text to speech it.
Text. Oh, they sent me a message. I can't hear Mind Cannon at all for some reason. Uh-oh. Whoopsie doodles. Well, I guess Shinzo's out of the podcast until they get back. Maybe restart your Discord or something.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah, Mind Cannon, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Claims.
Okay.
Yeah. My turn then? Alright, well, I mean, I already explained like pretty much
Like,
my
just when you
main
saw it, like-
experiences with it. But
I mean,
like,
when you first saw it.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm getting to that. Sorry. It's just, I think everybody had mostly the same reaction, especially to at least like the first time you see Foxy, like
yes.
just running down the hallway. Like, imagine that, except like throughout the whole thing, it's just like that's how I'm feeling. Just
that image of Foxy running down the hall. That
yeah.
That's your thoughts on it when you first saw it. It's like that's my
thoughts on it. It's like
perfect.
It's apprehensively running towards something that I don't know that I'm getting into.
So you're Foxy in that scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun at the time, but like, holy shit!
What have I wrought?
It was something unique, and it was fresh, and I just gotten out of Homestuck, and I was younger, and still enjoyed the concept of fandoms in practice, but didn't really understand what that carried. But just yeah, it was fun to get into. There was like, and there was like good topics about everything.
Shinzo, is that you?
I think so, maybe.
Perfect. Yeah, that's you.
Alright.
Alright, so that's his thoughts. So, Shinzo, when you first saw the very first Five Nights at Freddy's, what was your first reaction?
I just
like,
need to... Okay, dude, can you hear me? Or can I...
I can hear you now, actually.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes!
So that's a yes.
I'm gonna restart.
So anyway, I don't know. Okay, so
I'm gonna restart 1 sec.
Okay. I guess he couldn't. So,
Hello?
Shinzo. Yes.
Okay. So,
Nice.
Are you talking about just like on a visual level, or
like immediate first thoughts? Like, you see the game. This is your first time seeing the game. Maybe
I
you
thought
saw
it was fucking brilliant, because that is something I have heard people talk about as being scary, and yet no one has ever actually done anything with it on such a scale as that.
it was really surprising.
And at the time, I didn't know that it was only made by one guy, and finding that out absolutely blew me away. But I was just, again, I was completely and totally fascinated by, like, again, like what you were saying, it's very reminiscent, the art style and the graphic design and all that is very reminiscent of, like, some old, like, PC game that you'd have that you can barely remember, that's, like, on the edge of your memory, that, like, you remember playing when you were little on your old computer, but you don't really remember what it was called or what it's that kind of graphic style, and yet it was at the same time very modern and up to date kind of a thing. And it was really fascinating on a visual level, I think, and it was fascinating on a tapping into a specific kind of fear level, which you know, for me, when I was little, I was very scared of, like, the talking doll stuff, like Chucky and that one episode of the Twilight Zone with the talking Tina and that kind of a thing. I've always, like, ever since I've since grown out of that fear. You know,
I haven't.
Now it's been moved to clowns, but, you know, not really. But essentially, that was very reminiscent of that kind of fear that I used to have as a kid, is that kind of a thing. So again, in another sense, that's another way that it kind of tapped into me on a personal level, and then it kind of grew from there. And I was this is a really fascinating art style. It's a really, you know, fascinating means of development, and it was a simple idea done well, I think, is what it was. And I think that's why I appreciated it and wanted to look into it for more than just what it was on the surface, which is just like, the thing jumps out and scares you if you don't do the right thing or you don't push the right button at the right time.
Yeah, the mechanics in that game like the first time I figured out like, oh, you have to like listen to the ambience in the world surrounding you and like time your like door closes and camera stuff for that, and like actually have this sense of stress like you are working a terrifying, horrible job.
And that's another thing I probably should clarify. I have never actually personally played any single one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I've only seen